This video is brought to you by...
Man, y'all already know what it is. Cool green clothing. We done gone worldwide. We coming straight out of Baltimore. Man, do yourself a favor right quick. Go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
It's your girl, Mrs. Tony, 2 times, and I'm back with another episode of the Baltimore Way. In this video, I'll be taking it to Baltimore County, to Lockhern, to tell the tragic story of a couple who were just days away from getting married before everything fell apart. But before we get into this video, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony 2 Times family. Tap the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And of course, feel free to share this video with everyone you know. Alright, let's get into it. To those who knew him, Antoine Johnson was a warm, generous soul who dedicated his life to lifting others up. On social media, many described him as a motivational and inspiring person. Others remembered him as a mentor, a community advocate, and someone who was always willing to help people who needed guidance. One person remembered Antoine from his time working with youth programs in Baltimore and described him as responsible and respectful. Another person said they had worked alongside him and considered him a great coworker. He worked as a resource coordinator with Baltimore City's Office of Child Support Services, a position that allowed him to assist families and individuals who were often navigating difficult circumstances. Someone who had interacted with him professionally through child support services said he was exceptional at his job and left a lasting impression. Friends described him as a poet, a decent human being, and someone who genuinely loved helping people. His sister later described him as a loving father and a pillar of the community. He loved life, and he poured that love right back into his city. At 46 years old, Antoine appeared to be entering a new chapter of life. Not only was he building his career and maintaining strong relationships with family and friends, but he was also preparing for something many people look forward to for years. He was engaged. According to his family, Antoine was scheduled to marry his fiancée, Michele McCray, on July 11, 2025. The couple lived together in a home on the 3600 block of Tulsa Road in the Lockhern area of Baltimore County, alongside Michele's son. Public court records don't reveal every detail about their relationship, but what is known is that Antoine and Michele were indeed engaged and planning a future together. But behind the scenes, tensions had apparently developed. That tension boiled over on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, just 10 days before they were scheduled to walk down the aisle. The trouble began earlier that afternoon while Antoine was still at work. Words were exchanged and friction was already building before he even clocked out for the day. Exactly what led to that frustration has never been fully detailed publicly. When Antoine arrived home from work that evening, the argument reignited immediately. Inside the house was Michele and Michele's son. According to court records, Michele's son was upstairs when the argument started. He told investigators that he could hear his mother and Antoine going back and forth downstairs. At one point, he heard Michele ask Antoine, "What are you going to do, put your hands on me?" According to the son, Antoine responded by saying no. The argument continued. Concerned about the situation escalating, Michele's son reportedly suggested that Antoine step outside so everyone could calm down. According to investigators, Antoine agreed. He left the confrontation and went outside, but the tension inside the home wasn't over. The son later told investigators that he heard his mother say she was going to get a firearm. He then heard her go upstairs. Moments later, He heard her come back downstairs and out toward the front yard. At around 6:45 p.m., a single loud bang echoed through the neighborhood. Michelle's son rushed outside to the front lawn. What he found would forever change his life. According to court records, Antoine was laying on the grass in the front yard. Standing nearby on the front porch, looking down, was Michele, holding the weapon in her hand. Reacting quickly, the son took the weapon from his mother and secured it inside the house before dialing 911. According to investigators, the caller informed authorities that his mother had harmed his stepfather. Baltimore County Police and emergency responders arrived shortly after. When they arrived, they found Antoine in the front yard suffering from a severe head wound. Sadly, there was nothing first responders could do. He was pronounced gone at the scene. As detectives began piecing together what happened, they quickly identified the people involved and secured the area for further investigation. Witnesses in the neighborhood also provided information. One witness reportedly told investigators they had seen Antoine and Michele arguing in the front yard. After the argument, both individuals went back inside the residence. Several minutes later, the witness heard the loud noise. The witness then observed Antoine on the ground while Michele stood on the porch looking toward him. Investigators soon transported both Michele and her son to Baltimore County Police Headquarters for interviews. And that's where two different versions of events emerged. According to investigators, Michele acknowledged being responsible for what happened, but claimed she never intended for things to end the way they did. She told detectives that earlier in the evening, Antoine had become physical with her during the argument. According to Michele, Antoine allegedly took her to the ground and later grabbed her around the neck near the front door. She said that after this confrontation, she went upstairs and retrieved the firearm. Michele stated that Antoine then went outside. She followed him with the weapon. According to her account, she pointed it toward him only to scare him. She claimed she accidentally pulled the trigger. Investigators documented her statement and examined her for injuries. According to charging documents, officers reported that they did not observe visible marks or injuries on her neck or throat area. Photographs were still taken. Michele's son, however, provided investigators with a different account. He told detectives he never saw a physical confrontation between Antoine and his mother. He also stated he did not hear sounds indicating a physical struggle had taken place. According to court records, the son described Michele as generally being the aggressor during the argument. He also informed investigators that his mother had been drinking earlier that day and had recently been struggling with mental health issues. Those statements became significant parts of the investigation. As detectives reviewed witness accounts, physical evidence, and interview statements, they ultimately concluded there was sufficient evidence to move forward with criminal charges. Michele McCray was arrested and charged with first-degree hit. Following her arrest, she was held without bond at the Baltimore County Detention Center. Meanwhile, Antoine's family was left trying to process an unimaginable loss. What made the situation even more heartbreaking was the timing. Remember, Antoine and Michele were only 10 days away from becoming husband and wife. A wedding that had been planned and anticipated by loved ones would never happen. In a GoFundMe statement created after the tragedy, Antoine's sister describes him as a kind and giving man who dedicated his life to helping people. She spoke about his commitment to his community and the many lives he impacted through both his personal and professional work. Then, more than a year after Antoine's life was taken, the legal process moved forward. According to court records, Michele McCray pleaded guilty to first-degree charges on the first day of her trial as jury selection was scheduled to begin. Rather than proceeding to a lengthy trial, she accepted a binding plea agreement. Under that agreement, she is expected to receive a life sentence with all but 40 years suspended. Formal sentencing is scheduled for September 11th. The plea effectively brought an end to the legal battle while also sparing Antoine's family from having to endure a full trial. Following the plea, Antoine's sister publicly addressed some of the comments circulating online. She asked people to stop the negativity and emphasized that her family was satisfied with the outcome. She also acknowledged the difficult position Michele's son found himself in. According to Antoine's sister, it took tremendous courage for him to tell investigators what he knew. She described Antoine as an amazing father, brother, uncle, friend, coworker, and stepfather. She said she would rather have her brother here today, but believes he is now watching over them. It's a statement that reflects the complicated emotions many families experience after tragedies like this and the difficult process of moving forward. May Antoine Johnson continue to rest in peace. My deepest condolences go out to Antoine Johnson's sister, his sons, his entire family, and the Baltimore community that loved him so deeply. He was a man who spent his life helping others, and his absence leaves a void that won't easily be filled. This case is a reminder of how quickly things can become toxic, even in relationships where wedding dates are set and futures are being planned. Many times people only see what happens publicly. Friends, coworkers, neighbors, and even family members may believe they understand what a couple is going through. But the reality is that nobody truly knows everything happening behind closed doors. And that doesn't mean assumptions should be made in either direction. It simply means that relationships can be far more complicated than they appear from the outside. This case also raises important conversations about conflict resolution, emotional regulation, mental health struggles, and the use of substances to cope with those struggles. According to statements made during the investigation, concerns were raised about both alcohol consumption and mental health challenges. While those factors never excuse someone's actions, they do highlight the importance of seeking help before situations spiral out of control. Sometimes pride, anger, frustration, unresolved issues, and untreated mental health concerns can create circumstances that permanently alter multiple lives. And unfortunately, when those moments happen, there is often no way to undo the consequences. So now, fam, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you believe the plea agreement was fair? What stood out to you most about the statements provided by Michele's son? And what lessons do you think people can take away from this tragic situation? As always, keep the conversation respectful in the comments below. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of the Baltimore Way. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative and believe these stories matter, please consider liking this video so more people can see it. Subscribe for more stories like this that deserve to be heard. And most importantly, take care of yourself and those around you. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times. Until next time.